Hi, I'm Bob Keenan Photography. What I'll be talking about today are air blowers, air jets for cleaning lenses and sensors and mirrors of DSLR cameras. I have another posting on YouTube and a blog to go with it that talks about how I change lenses in the field. And in it, you'll see me changing, pulling one lens out, putting a cap on it, pulling the other lens out, and before putting it on, you'll see me do something like this. And I got a lot of comments about that, saying, oh my God, you can't do that, you're spitting into the lens and you're putting all sorts of marks on it. But while you're on the field, I don't like carrying a lot of stuff. It's enough carrying a lens or two and some filters and a camera. I don't want to carry a blower as well. And so what I've found is if you're careful in the field, that's adequate. And I almost never get any stuff from my mouth on the lens. But it's a different story when you're home and you're in a better environment where you can be more careful, because I can see how eventually something is going to come out of your mouth and be placed directly on the lens. And that kind of stuff doesn't go away because it'll be stuck to the lens. And so what I used for quite a while was something called a pocket rocket, which looks a little bit like this, but it doesn't have one of these things. And what it is just a bulb with a blower tube on it and a little valve at the end. This is something different that I'll talk about in a second. And so you can take either your camera or lens, and it's pretty effective at blowing away all the dust, especially if you hold it and let gravity help you out with it. But after doing that for a while, I started thinking, why don't they put a filter at the end of this thing? Because all you're doing is you're taking air from around you, which is just loaded full of dust, and then shoving it into every deep, dark corner of the inside of your lens, or worse yet, into the inside of your camera. Okay? And whether the lens and shutter are closed or open, eventually if you shove dust in here, it's going to get in on the sensor. So I looked around the internet and I found something. It's a Hepa Jet 2. I'll give you a link on the blog that goes with this thing. And I think there's also somebody else who does it as well. And it's the same thing as the regular rocket blower, but it has this cool little HEPA filter on it, which I would guess would last you forever, unless you work in a sawdust mill or something like that. So now you can be guaranteed that whenever you go like this, you're going to get clean air coming out. Now the other thing you also want to think about, besides letting gravity do the job here, is some people might be a little bit nervous about getting the tip in here. You should be, because if you doink this against the mirror, you potentially might scratch it. But if you go like this, there's something called Venturi effect, which if you're forcing air this way, it's going to pull air around like this. And so even though you have a filter on it, you're still bringing in bad dust and stuff. So you just have to be a little bit more careful. Go ahead and have it inside. As long as it's inside, most of the flow will come through the filter or out of the body of the lens. And that would take care of 80 to 90% of any dust problems that you've got. It's quick, it's easy, and it doesn't really cost that much more. Now there are other things you need to do, sometimes to your lens, sometimes to the mirror and to the sensor, to make sure the dust is gone, but I'll cover that in another blog for other methods that take a little bit more time, but aren't that difficult to do. So that's that for this.